Welcome to the Odds Breakers, number one place for shared sharp betting information.
What's up, fellas? Welcome back to Podcast 54-18. I'm your host, Kiev O'Neill. You can tweet me at The Public Dog, or you can tweet us at The Odds Breakers, or follow us, whatever. College football week 11 and NFL week 10 plays. To let you guys know, we are growing, and it's growing pretty fast. We're getting a lot more unique listeners and a lot more hits to our website. So we have to change the website. We're going to have to go towards a more of a newspaper format, kind of to fit all the content that's going to be coming in. We are also looking for more handicappers out there. So if you're a handicapper, please contact us. Visit us at theoddsbreakers.com. Hit contact us, or through Twitter's fine as well. And we can talk about what sport you'd like to cover. We're looking for any sport now. And if you have experience, please let us know. So, a couple quick topics to cover. The look-ahead line for Alabama is out. It's out in a few sports books out there. It is minus 8.5 over Clemson. So, surprisingly, there's value in that line. If you want to take it, there's value on Alabama's side in that line, and here is why. The reason that there's value is because what if Clemson's quarterback Trevor Lawrence gets hurt? What is this line going to be? You know, there's still quite a few games, well, 4 games left to get to a possible championship. And if he gets hurt, this line goes from 8.5 to 14.5. At least, right? You got to think. Now, if Tua Tagovailoa gets hurt, the line goes from minus 8.5 to probably about minus 6.5, right? Hurts playing. Doesn't matter. So that is why there is value in this line right here. Now, I mean, it's never fun to lay over a touchdown in a championship game, but this Bama team is power rated pretty high. and I know it's a neutral field, but believe it or not, there's some value in this line. I personally would make this line 7.5, but even at that quarterback goes out, it changes a lot more. So just wanted to quick point that out. Speaking of Bama, you guys have a bunch of new fans now. You know that? A bunch of new fans, and they're from the state of Michigan. Michigan Wolverine fans should be cheering for Bama every single game they play. Okay? Because if Alabama loses to Georgia or to anybody here on out, most likely, well, they're not going to lose to any FCS teams, right? But they lose to Mississippi State, Auburn, Georgia in the championship. That may just push Michigan out of the college football playoff, because it's going to be very hard to put Michigan in over undefeated Notre Dame, or even if Notre Dame slips up and loses one, because they have the head-to-head against Michigan. Now, is that fair? Most people have Michigan as a favorite to Notre Dame right now. Most power rankers, most handicappers. I don't care if it's fair. It's not the way they do it. They don't do it fair. If it was fair, any undefeated team wouldn't be in the top 4, even though they would get blown out, right? Some of them, But it's about the way that they're going to seed it. So just to let you know, Wolverine fans, wanted to make sure you knew you are Crimson Tide fans as of right now.
The dynasty has just begun.
All right. Utah State. Wanted to quick apologize for not giving enough of these out. I was looking at the best ATS records, and we're on some of them. 8-1 is the best, and there's a few ties up there. But Utah State, we should have been on that a long time ago, man, ever since that Michigan State game. But, they've just been covering some mega spreads, and I think they're still going to keep doing it. So even though we've been on good old Buffalo every week, pretty much, we've been on FIU, we've been on Washington State, we've been on quite a few winners, and that's how to beat the books. You get on that hot team, right? But I don't know how I missed Utah State so long, and I do want to apologize for that. UAB, we've been on a couple times, but I faded off them, but they still keep covering. They're also 8-1. And then Buffalo's right under them at 8-2. Virginia's there too, 7-2. Boston College, 7-2. All right. Next order of business. I want to quick talk about this late in the season. You got to really cap motivation here. There's teams that are finally now out of it and are not going to really care, especially if they have a rivalry game coming up. You got to remember that if you want to bet on a smelly dog, you have to realize that this team may not be motivated. There's a chance. Now, some might, but you got to look at the situation here. I mean, Louisville's probably one of them. Connecticut's probably one of them. You got to check that and make sure. Make sure that they're going to play that. You think they're going to play this game, because it's hard to bet that smelly dog. Rutgers, they at least have a win, but they're looking for a Big Ten win, so maybe there's a little motivation there. I don't know. But just make sure you check that. Our next topic, college basketball. Well, we're not going to give out any plays right now. We did that on Tuesday night and did extremely well. But college basketball, I just want to let you know that we're going to start kind of sprinkling it in to the podcasts. And after bowl season's over, the podcast changes from twice a week to once a week. Then it should be airing, I believe, on Friday mornings for your Saturday and Sunday games. So we find that it's the most popular time to bet is the weekends. Obviously, we're going to still be sending out plays, premium plays, and a couple free ones, obviously, via the website, newsletter, and Twitter during the week. But the podcast is most likely going to air on Friday mornings like we have in the past. This episode is sponsored by mybookie.ag. For a 50% bonus, please use the promo code TheOddsBreakers. If you're looking to help us out with our costs, we'd like to help you out. Become a Oddsbreakers member by going to the website, theoddsbreakers.com, and hit patron subscriber. And for only $12.99 a month right now, you will have access to our podcast early and to our premium picks before the line moves. If nothing else, please visit the website, theoddsbreakers.com. Sign up for our free picks newsletter. Without further ado, let's get into these picks. All right. Washington State versus Colorado. Colorado laying 4.5. Well, it was when I bet it. I think it's 6 now. we all knew that Colorado was fake news, right? We saw them lose 4 games in a row. And now they have to face the best team in the Big 12. Mike Leach's Cougars are having a special year, and their quarterback Gardner Minshew, he's got over a 70% completion rate with 27-7 TD to interception ratio. Wow. So Wazoo was obviously something that everybody missed, and they are kicking it this year. Now, after what Washington State has done, you might think that this is a letdown spot, right? It's not. Their letdown spot was last week hosting Cal, and they barely got through it because Cal's not that fierce team, and they just got done with Stanford. Really hard, tough little middle of that schedule. And now they're kind of in coast mode, but they're going to face a decimated Colorado team that has 3 wide receivers and 2 place kickers on the injury report. This will definitely hurt Steven Montez's passing game, I believe. And Montez has done pretty good. He's got a 67% completion, 17-5 TD interception ratio, but the Cougars, on the other hand, are injury-free. You look at that injury report, you're like, wow. They rank in the top 20 in yards per play at 6.4, while only giving up 5 on defense. Colorado ranks 5.8 yards per play, but they give up 5.4 on defense. There's a half yard per play net difference here. Okay? Pretty significant. For play, a half a yard. So, Washington State ranks first. 8-1 against the spread, just like old Utah State. And Colorado ranks 5-4. And they haven't even been a home underdog yet. This one is pretty easy for me. We're taking Washington State. We're having that special season with game day being there. I like it all the way to 7. I think it's up to 6 now. We gave it out as a premium play at 4.5. But Wazoo should roll.
You are fake news.
Kansas versus Kansas State. Kansas State laying -12. I think it's 10.5 now. What kind of business does Kansas State this year having to lay 12 points to anybody? On paper, both of these teams are pretty equal. They really are. Only producing 5 yards per play, pretty low for college football, and giving up 6 yards per play. Both teams. The Jayhawks have the slight edge in points per game, a couple points. And the Wildcats have the edge in strength of schedule. Neither of these teams will make it to a bowl. None of them. But they're going to be playing this game for Kansas pride. Little Jayhawk pride. Wildcat pride, right? This game may be a little windy. And you can see why the total dropped down to 45 points here. So both teams will run the ball. Kansas actually has the edge here, allowing only 4.2 yards per run, while Kansas State allows a pretty large 5.35 yards per rush. Lastly, K-State quarterback Skylar Thompson left last week's game in the first quarter and is highly questionable for this game. Both teams have 3 wins, but it's this season wise, it's looking a lot better for the Jayhawks that are used to winning 1 or 2 than Kansas State, who is used to winning 8 or 9. It's a terrible season for them, and this is also a revenge spot for Kansas. So I think they get it done here, and possibly win the game. I'm taking Kansas State plus 12. And don't forget to
sprinkle that shit.
All right. Mississippi State versus Alabama. Alabama laying 26. I think it's 24.5 now or something. I know, right? What the hell are you doing, Kiev? Why